Okay, so let's continue looking at this proof. We have theorem, we're not up to theorem 3, we're up to theorem, we just did theorem 2, and let's look at corollary to theorem 2. So g of x, so if x is godlike, then it's necessarily true that some y is godlike. There exists a y for which y is godlike. A godlike being is necessarily exemplified. So I don't really understand exactly what this means, because if x is the thing that's godlike, I feel like there's something wrong with this sentence here. It seems to be saying a godlike being, as in x, in this case, is necessarily exemplified, but there's nothing to do with x here. So I think I'm misunderstanding something, or so for in all possible worlds, there's some y that's godlike, and the y could be different for every different possible world, and it doesn't say how they're related to this x. Anyway, let's try to prove it's true, given the axioms, of course. So to prove an implication is true, we assume the if, so assume that x is godlike. And then we want to show that it's necessarily true there exists y that's godlike. Okay, so now if we're assuming x is godlike, then the definition, so D1 is the definition of godlike. Axiom 5 is the definition of this E, I guess. No, axiom 5 says E is positive. So what is E? E is necessary existence. The definition is that for all properties, if the property is an essence of x, is the essence of x, then that means it's necessarily true there exists a y such that phi of y is true. Okay. Necessarily exemplified is used again. So x necessarily exemplified must refer to this kind of, it's a property of phi. Okay. Essence of x. So phi is the essence of x. Is necessarily exemplified. Okay, and the essence of x has this definition. So x satisfies it, and for all properties, x satisfying that property means that it's necessarily a consequence of the essence for all the things which satisfy, for all the things which satisfy. Okay. So what is it here? So godlike means when it's positive property, x has that property. Okay. Okay, so because necessary existence is positive, then x has necessary existence. Okay, so I guess that's as simple as that. Yeah, so godlikeness means it has all the positive properties. Axiom 5 says that capital E is a positive property, so x must have capital E, so E of x is true. Okay, but then what's the conclusion of E of x? The conclusion of E of x, so the definition is that for all properties which, and if that property is an essence of x, then this is true. So we know that from theorem 2 that godlikeness is an essence of x. So then we apply that to this because it's true for all essences of x, for all properties. So we take capital G to be phi here. And because this is true then for G, the conclusion is also true. So it's necessarily true that there exists some y such that y is godlike. Okay, and that's the conclusion of this theorem. So how is this necessary? Godlike being. So the way it's phrased here is that essence of x is necessarily exemplified. It seems like it's talking about the essence. It's talking about the phi. Whereas here, it's saying the godlike being is necessarily exemplified. It seems like it's talking about the x. But anyway, okay, that proves it. We still have to maybe understand it a bit better.